Morning, everybody. Big crowd already. George, David, Lucero, Francois, Rungamer, Pat, Mary, Valerie, Craig, Val, Donald, Keith, Sledge, Dan. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody enjoying the drop? Um, let's talk about it, shall we? Let's talk about it. Are we in for more? Are we in for a bounce? Can we go all-time high from here? Let's talk about it. Let's look at it. Let's see what we got. All right. And remember, Apple earnings today, Amazon earnings today after the close, likely to be a market mover potentially. And I mean, you got to watch out. I mean, really do. This was a big week of earnings, as we can see right here. We had PayPal, Shopify, Qualcomm, Oxy, Unity, Robinhood, Etsy, all yesterday after the close. Today, we've got AB InBev, that's Anheuser-Busch, that's Budweiser right there. We've got Warner Brothers Discovery this morning, and a whole host of others. Hasbro, ConocoPhillips, Cellware Hasbro CEO was going to Gap. They announced that. I guess Gap needs help, and the CEO that revived Barbie is being pulled over. That's the story. I don't know. We're also seeing Coinbase, Block, formerly known as Square, Airbnb, DraftKings, Cloudflare, Fortinet, and Petrobras Wish all this evening, with tomorrow morning Fubo, Nikola. Yeah, so we got some potential movers hitting the market over the next couple days, today and tomorrow. Next week, whole different week. Let's actually do the disclaimer first. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. I may not get anything right again. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, and fun, not a recommendation to buy or sell anything, financial instrument or otherwise. Don't buy anything from anybody recommending anything, all right? And if you desire personal financial advice, hire a consultant financial advisor. Now, if it's your first time on the stream, you got to hit the subscribe button right over there, and on the other corner, way over there, and then you can chat with me live, just like all these great people on the live stream. Now, if you're tuning in after I'm no longer live, you got to leave a comment, and if you want to join me all day, that takes more of my time, and I do require money for more of my time. So links in the description if you want to come join me all day. All right, in Discord and other places. I've been, I think by Friday I will have done 13 live streams, and just it'll just be 6 on YouTube. So, whole host of live streams out there. All right, looking at the calendar for next week. Let's pop over here and look at this and refresh it all up for the current week. As we get down here into Thursday, not a lot going on. We had unemployment claims. We've got ISM manufacturing, or ISM services, PMI, coming up at 10. That can rock the market a little bit. And then we have the payrolls coming out tomorrow. Unemployment, hadn't really been a big market mover. I mean, it could move the market a little bit, but hasn't really been so far the last couple weeks. Nobody really cares. I mean, the numbers are all made up. And nobody cares. That's the bottom line. Looks like Canada has a holiday on Monday. Not going to mean much for the U.S. markets. Tuesday, pretty benign. Not much happening. Wednesday, again, got a 10-year auction. Thursday, though, we have CPI coming in. That has... The last one wasn't a big market mover, but this one might be. We'll have to see what happens here. Prices might be relaxing a little bit, and then we have PMI coming on Friday next week. So those are coming in hot. So mostly benign until we get down to the later part of the week, Thursday, Friday. Then we got those CPI, PPI numbers right on the back of the Fed raising rates. So we'll see what that does, how everything reacts, right? We're going to come in hot, maybe not. We'll see. So calendar, not really stacked with much economic news at this point. So it's all down to earnings and us just kind of reacting to each other. So Yes, look at that. Somebody drew a giant arrow, and look where price is. Sometimes, I mean, is it better to be lucky or good? Or maybe both. I don't know. I may never get it right again, but dang, that was right on the money. So maybe I get things right occasionally. All right, let's talk about this move. I want to break it down a little different. So I'm going to pull over this chart. I just posted this in Discord right before I went live. This is the same exact move, thrown on a different chart. Looking at it a little different. This is a 30-minute time frame, same as what I just had up. Now, this first move down was a 5-wave type structure. For Elliott wave ticians, or, you know, maybe you don't agree, I don't know. The way I look at it, that was a 5-wave move down. It showed up in the lower time frames, like the 5-minute, 15-minute, kind of, mostly the 5-minute. And we had an alternation. This correction right here took a little longer than the one that was right down here. So this actually worked as a 5-wave down. We got this sloppy move up with a ending diagonal in a B wave. These little choppy overlapping bullshit things usually only show up in B waves. All right, that's why when we see the price action on the daily and it's doing this choppy bull crap right here, I want to avoid it, because B waves are unpredictable, unreliable, not really tradable, in my opinion. Some people would argue otherwise. I don't find it high probability, and that's not something I chase down. So there was an A wave in here, a B wave in here, and this was the C wave right there of the B wave. So that was 3 waves, a corrective action. I was highly cautious there for a couple days, and I had that level sitting there at, what was it, 46.22. We never popped above it. We started rolling down and down and down. Now we are at extension levels here. The minimum you would expect, A equals C, is 45.40. The classic extension, 1272, right there. This all works up, you know, up and down. So that's why I love these levels. All right, the 1272 right there. And then the max move I would expect. And this is kind of, if we set this up kind of enthusiastic to the downside, we're going to come down here, hit this 44.92. Then we'll bounce up. Now, what might that bounce look like? We're already at a level where I think we could be played out on the downside now, like right now. We could see a bounce today. Does it have to happen? No, we can extend right on down here. And if we start breaking that level, something else is cooking. And that's kind of the big warning. So 44.92 right now, a pretty important level. If we just, you know, do these little moves, and we break on down through 44.92, that's indicating that something bigger is cooking here. And we may see a bigger flush out. All right. So that's an important level. This is for the futures. And you may be like, JT, I don't get futures data. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, you can pull up ES1 exclamation point on TradingView, ES1 exclamation point. But if you don't want to do that at all, just take about 20, 25 bucks off of these prices. And that's the SPX, baby. I mean, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right. All these things are related. Now, what happens on the upside? Let's go to a live chart so I can actually draw on it. That was, I wanted to highlight those levels. Now, let's just pull this level down here. If that was the low overnight, the lowest low, let's just remove this baby off there for now. Resistance. Right in here. Going higher. That level, 45.70 up to about 46.07. And let's call it 46.10. All right, that's the resistance for going higher. And look, 30-minute roadmap line sitting right there. If we flip up to the daily, the roadmap line's way down below us. So this is what we got so far. We may see price do this over the next couple days. This is the key. If we turn down from around this area, the orange box, it can be the bottom of the box, it can be the 618 level there, or it can be the top of the box. Anywhere in here, we turn down, we're probably going way on down. All right, this is how JT does it right here. way on down. What does that mean? It's going to mean something like this. That's a measured bounce set up again. We can come way on down here. Now, alternate number 2. We only do this. All right. That was option number 1. Option number 2, we only do this. That's a 3-wave move down. A retrace, we kind of hold this low from before, maybe slight overlap. That's allowed in the futures. But we could see an extension that looked like this off of this point right here, puts us right down in this same area. That would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-way down. Then I would expect a 3-wave retrace to a 618 level of that move down, which probably somewhere in this zone, somewhere about the orange box again. So this 4570 level, 4570, 4580, going to be important. If we stay below it, that's going to set us up for an even bigger move down. These are things I'm going to be watching very closely for the next week or so. If we get back above 4570, 4580, we can go on up. But that can lead to a bigger move, bigger decline down to this 4300 area. And we're getting close to the daily roadmap line at this point with that kind of move. You can see it right here. That daily roadmap line probably come on up a bit. And we're going to start getting closer to it. We'll probably arc off. All right, these are important. These are important levels, very important levels. This is why you want to be a Discord for the updates. If any time you need an update where we're at in this pattern, just ask me. Otherwise, you'll get your daily updates right here on YouTube. All right. That's the path we got right now. Highly cautious. I do expect a bounce. Maybe short-lived. All right. In Q. This thing not quite completed its 3-wave. That's why I didn't pull this up and talk about it in detail yet. It hasn't really done a proportionally measurable thing so far. Still working on getting down to the 15.2, possibly extend down to 15.1. Still doesn't look proportionally good for even a 3-wave off of the high. So it probably has lower to go. It's kind of lagging at this point. SPX kind of outperforming now. Russell. Now, NQ, unfamiliar, how to trade it, that's QQQ, ES, SPY. That's the easy ways. All right. Russell here, that's IWM, small caps, got lots of stuff on the chart. Yes, I know. Cleaned it up just a hair. We've kind of held this resistance back below the trend line. If we get below these lows from right over here, if we get below those lows, we are highly likely to go visit this roadmap line. Now, I don't have the 3-wave move or anything like that in here so far. We'll probably move down, retrace a bit, and then get some extension if that's what's going to happen. And it may come up, we may do like head and shoulders type thing. See, we did this, did this, did this, did this. May come up, hit that trend line one more time before we get the bigger decline. A head and shoulders pattern is a reversal pattern in Elliott wave. Funny enough. All right. It's kind of like they show up at the termination of moves. All right. Looks like the market is now open. Everybody clear on that path so far? CL, I did liquidate my position, and looks like we may retrace back to the roadmap line. That was close enough to count for me. We may go all the way back down here to the roadmap line at this point. Just drew that big arrow, and it may happen a lot faster than I thought it might. So there's the path on CL. If we hold support here, we can go higher again. If we don't, we may go break on down. That could have been it for now. Doesn't have to go for any kind of extension. GC, gotten slammed back right down into the consolidation box. This may mean we're visiting the roadmap line on the daily one more time. Bitcoin, Still nothing. Golly, that's boring right there. A little bit of volatility 2 days prior, but nothing so far. Kind of got my eye on it. Litecoin did a halving event yesterday. It was its third halving event ever, and the market just kind of goes, eh. So hasn't been a bullish catalyst yet, even though it does decrease the supply of Litecoin hitting the market. Why is Litecoin important? Because it secures Dogecoin, and it's got its whole own ecosystem. So Dogecoin runs kind of on Litecoin. You can't have Dogecoin without Litecoin. So it's not really built on top of it, but they run parallel. Now, Ethereum looking a little more bearish. We may see this break on down and head toward the target down here. Dollar still pushing up, probably going to go retest that roadmap line. We could see it reject off of there, and we see the market rally as the dollar declines again. Now, Apple reporting earnings today. The only reason it's on here is because they report earnings, not because it's moving in the pre-market, or was moving in the pre-market. Now, we are a long way from this roadmap line. And we have been a good long time since getting there. Look how long it's been. We haven't been down there since March. We've just been grinding higher. Constant grind higher. That is due. Now, what could it do on earnings? It could pop and then drop. We've seen that several times since I've been doing these live streams and stuff. We could see it pop overnight, super positive reaction, and then drop out. Be careful. All right. The downside, there's more risk to the downside. I am long on AAPD via shares. Not big shares, just a few, 25, 30, I don't know. Just a small position in my small account. I am long some AAPD, expecting that thing to rally as Apple drops. So, on the flip side, you've got AAPU, but that one also looks overcooked. So be careful on Apple earnings this evening. This looks like it could drop. Amazon, however, may need a revisit also, but it is severely lagging compared to QQQ. And QQQ is way up here on its pattern, and Amazon way down here. Needs to catch up, but it may need to recharge back to the roadmap line before it can get that boost. So both of them looking like we may see a pullback. That kind of supports in the bigger market on NASDAQ. So this is trying to be a little humble today that this may be the beginning of a bigger correction. All right. Please be careful. Know where your money is. We do not have to continue higher at this point. MELI, these are movers this morning. We'll get into the list here. And we had a tough time getting through resistance. That was the classic roadmap line bounce potentially. If we grab this fib line, throw it over here, right up to resistance. If we can break out above that, that's the first positive sign. It's kind of a, I'd say the conservative maturity would be above 1300. Looking for 1440, possibly 1540 on the upside. But if we can't break above that, we may see a deeper retrace back down into this, possibly as low as 860, 980 area down here. This is that was a high-priced big mover too. So REGN, nice potential if we can get above this high right over here, 793, potentially going to launch on off up to 867, possibly 908. And remember, this is a pharmaceutical biotech. My patterns don't always work on these. Please be careful. All right, just the disclaimer on that. ALB, we talked about this on Monday, didn't we? Got right down to that point, right down to the price. Now, if this breaks above this, this breaks above this neckline right here, I've got the alert already. This breaks out. We're looking for a substantial move up to like this $300 area right up here as a potential. Beautiful. It's doing exactly what I thought it might do when we talked about it. What, Monday? I think it was Monday. Really nice so far. If you were super aggressive, you can pick it up as it broke above this little consolidation here. Zoom it up and see what I'm talking about. If we can get above those highs, looking a little red today. If we can get a daily close up here above 215, that'd be pretty positive. Maybe 216. That would be an aggressive entry, though. Be careful. It can always turn down and wreck this pattern. Now, at the point where it breaks out of the neckline, that's kind of that's the more conservative and the point where it's looking like this pattern may actually play out. All right. That's what I got my eye on for ALB. It all stems from ExxonMobil and however you say that, Albemarle, working a deal for lithium. So CLX, nice pop, nice roadmap pattern. That's exactly the market roadmap pattern right there. Potentially going to break above. Aggressively, this is like the entry. If it doesn't just drop out and turn red, looking like it may be on a path right up here, 185, 194 on the extension. Wicks. Ugh. Don't mess with that. Look at how overlappy and gnarly that is. Don't trade that. I'm not even like, ugh. That's gross. See how overlappy that is? That's like a B wave, like I was talking about. But where's the A wave? I'm not sure. Like, there's no clear pattern here for me. That could be a leading diagonal off the bottom, which is highly unreliable. And this could go lower easily. Don't touch it. Don't mess with that. There's plenty of other stuff to look at. APTV, again, look at that gnarly pattern. Could it be the start of something? Sure, it could. That looks horrible. In fact, that's a failed head and shoulders pattern right there. Like, see that thing right there? Instead of going up, it went down off the neckline. Can be continuation lower. TMV says leveraged. Be careful on leverage stuff, but potential breakout right there. We talked about this a couple days ago, maybe yesterday. I don't remember. Potential breakout that can go higher. Watch for it to turn down at the 618 at 150 though. If we get above 150, this thing could go out to 204. QRVO. I wouldn't touch it with your money. That's a big head and shoulders potential. It starts breaking out. We could see a substantial move higher, but right now that's a nasty pattern. Here's the potential. $150. Oh, look, it goes right up into that consolidation right over there. Interesting. I don't like the pattern though. It's not clean. It's messy. I don't like messy patterns. Like, here's another messy pattern. But I thought it might flow right up into that zone. Wayfair's never had what I need, but could break out. Could also bounce back right back down to the roadmap line and crush people. Do a 50% retrace. Be careful. Baidu, still working on this head and shoulders pattern. Almost completed it. It's working right up. If it can break out, it's got big potential. Put it back on a log chart because of the size of this sucker. Almost there. It could go up to 350. RELY. Nice pop. I don't know where we're going to stop. Let's see. Significant resistance right up here at 30 to 40. May have a little trouble getting through this one too. And pushing out today, potentially. Yeah, it looks like it may rally up to 30. That'd be pretty good. That's a 50% gain on shares. Not too shabby. That's a nice potential. Not really any kind of fib pattern that I watch, but jumping from consolidation to consolidation area, that could work. WCC, oh man, right back to the roadmap line. Right off, look at that. Lower high, that's why I warn about that all the time. 1272, came up, lower high, ouch, right back to the roadmap line. That turning up can be positive for another move out, but at this point, that's fully cooked. I always say book the profit at the 1272. Sometimes take it conservatively below the 1272. Looking like the next move out could go to 195, but it's got some stuff to do now. It's got some work to do. Missed on the top, missed on the bottom on earnings. Down here below the roadmap line. But that didn't mean anything. We can see this rally right up to new highs. I mean, look what it just did. Crushed below the roadmap line. Giant rally right out the extension. Crushed back to the roadmap line. We can rally right back to the extensions. QCOM. Now, caution here. They are a major supplier for Apple. And if they just got whacked, what might Apple do? All right. Now, they don't always move in sync, but I mean, look, this is no Apple chart. You know, Apple rocking it, and this thing just kind of chopping sideways. But Apple's one of their major clients, and they're taking a hit, kind of indicating that maybe cell phone chip demand coming a little light. I don't know. We'll see what Apple does after the close. SD Schrodinger, does this chart exist if you don't have it up? Right back to the roadmap line is what I would expect. ETSY, right back to the lows. I was cautioning as we bounced off the roadmap line. We can do an extension lower, and it can go substantially lower. Look at this move right here. Maybe down to 75, 67. All right. ASML, right back to the roadmap line. Been looking for that to happen for a couple months. Once we get there, we can start talking about where we turn up. LNTH, below the roadmap line. Might be turning tides here. That one may go lower. We've got the support zone here where we did the gap up and held. If we get below that, we're probably going to fill this gap back down to here. STAA. Ouch. Is that the lowest low? It is the lowest low. Be careful on this stuff when it's not being able to stay above the roadmap line. Lowest low, that can get an extension. I would expect maybe down to 37 if it pushes down. Seems to have some buyers, but if it lets go at all, 37. Let's see, DXC. Ouch. Again, look at these lower highs. Was that a breakout? Nope. Turns out not. Lowest low. PayPal. Oh, who was bearish? Oh man, look at that. Beautiful. I think I put that out a couple different places to be careful on this. Extension lower right there, 53. And actually we can run it a little different now that we have this move back to the roadmap line. 54, 53, 54. That's where I expect it to go. Oh man, that's beautiful. It's probably gonna get an extension. Yep. Maybe maybe it'll get to my ultimate target down here, but right now, short-term target right in this zone. 54. In fact, I'm gonna set an alert there. All right. There you go. TM. Ouch. Right back in the box. Kind of expect this thing to go right back down to the bottom of the box. But JT, they just announced a 9,000 mile battery. I don't care. Chart pattern says highly likely go lower. They're not going to sell those things for a long time. J out. Bearish. Here's the support down here. That's gnarly. Now, is this the A wave? This is the B wave? Possibly a C wave up before we go down lower? Not sure. Not sure. But this does not look. That's no bueno. Not good. Holding the 618, but that's not a make me feel good pattern right there. That's gnarly, overlapping. Not a high probability one right now. All right, bias for the day. Kind of looking for this bounce that we talked about the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Can we extend lower? Yeah, the levels I mentioned earlier. Go watch the beginning. All those levels I talked about, particularly on the black chart. See if I can pull it back up. Jumped over there, minimized. So these levels right here, 44.92, highly important on the S&P. Futures chart, if you're looking at the SPX chart, take about 25 off of that. So math hard. We're looking like 72, maybe 68-ish, somewhere in that zone. 440, 468. All right, maybe down to 44.65. That would be the support level I'd be watching. We get below that, something else is cooking. Stay tuned in Discord. I'll update you if we got something different cooking. All right, be careful out there. The account you save may be your own. Stay safe. Hopefully you've heeded my warnings so far. This is looking like we could have a trend change into something that lasts more bearish for at least the rest of August. So be careful out there. All right. I'll be back again tomorrow. Make sure you're subscribed so you can come see me. Make sure you hit the bell with the alerts. And if you want to keep talking to me, I'm available all day on Discord. Just come hang out. I'll do Echo Trades Live at 1 o'clock today. And be safe out there.